The American Revolution was shaped not only by famous generals and statesmen, but also by women whose courage, sacrifice, and service strengthened the cause of independence. Some worked behind the scenes, while others faced danger beside the army. Their stories reveal the determination and devotion that helped build the United States, and they deserve to be remembered. Mary Ludwig Hays, the patriot woman behind the Molly Pitcher legend. Mary Ludwig Hays belongs in the history of the American Revolution. She is the woman most often identified as Molly Pitcher, the water carrier said to have taken an artilleryman's place during the Battle of Monmouth. The familiar image is dramatic. A woman leaves her pitcher, steps through smoke and cannon fire, and helps keep an American gun in action. Yet Mary's importance does not depend on accepting every later detail. The surviving record confirms that she accompanied the Continental Army, shared its hardships, aided soldiers, and received an unusual Pennsylvania pension for her own revolutionary service. Mary's early life is difficult to reconstruct. Local historians generally place her birth around 1754, possibly in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, although an older tradition gives 1744. No surviving birth record has settled the question. She was born Mary Ludwig, probably into a German-American family, and later lived in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. She married William Hays, a barber who enlisted as a gunner in Thomas Proctor's Pennsylvania Artillery in May 1777. Like many working women of her generation, Mary left few documents written in her own voice. When William joined the army, Mary followed. The phrase camp follower can sound passive, but the women traveling with 18th century armies performed necessary work. They cooked, washed, and repaired clothing, nursed the sick, carried supplies, gathered fuel, and helped maintain households on the move. Some received rations because their labor supported the troops. Washington sometimes complained that accompanying families slowed the army, yet commanders understood that women supplied services the military could not easily replace. At Valley Forge, approximately 250 to 400 women lived among the soldiers and civilians enduring the winter encampment. Mary probably accompanied William during the Philadelphia campaign and at Valley Forge in 1777 and 1778. Proctor's artillery had participated in the fighting around Philadelphia, including Brandywine and Germantown. Direct evidence placing Mary at each engagement is lacking, but the artillery regiment's families endured marching, shortages, and disease. By the spring of 1778, the Continental Army had trained under Baron von Steuben and reorganized its artillery under Henry Knox. When the British evacuated Philadelphia and marched across New Jersey toward New York, Washington's army left Valley Forge in pursuit. The armies collided near Monmouth Courthouse on June 28, 1778. The day was brutally hot, with temperatures well above 90 degrees and heavy humidity holding smoke over the battlefield. Heat exhaustion became almost as dangerous as enemy fire. After an American advance faltered and retreated, Washington reorganized his troops on high ground west of the courthouse. Continental cannon faced British artillery across open fields. For nearly 2 hours, the opposing batteries carried on one of the longest continuous cannonades of the war. Mary's association with water belongs naturally within this setting. Artillery crews needed water for exhausted men, but also for the guns. Between shots, a crewman used a damp sponge attached to a long staff to clean the cannon's bore and extinguish burning material left by the previous charge. If glowing fragments remained when the next cartridge was inserted, the gun could fire prematurely and kill its own crew. Carrying water under fire was therefore not a decorative or minor task. It protected lives and helped keep the artillery operating. Later tradition says William Hays collapsed, either wounded or overcome by heat, and Mary took his position at the cannon. Some accounts describe her handling the rammer or sponge. Others say she carried ammunition and assisted throughout the action. A veteran named Joseph Plum Martin later remembered a woman who attended an artillery piece while her husband worked the gun. He also told the famous story of a cannonball passing between her legs and tearing away part of her petticoat. His memoir appeared in 1830, more than 50 years after Monmouth, and he did not identify the woman by name. The United States Army's modern history of the campaign concludes that the woman was almost certainly Mary Ludwig Hays, but it also states that historians cannot verify the canon story or the petticoat episode. No contemporary order, muster roll, or report names Mary as a cannoneer. The claim that George Washington personally thanked her and made her Sergeant Molly is also unsupported by surviving wartime evidence. Those cautions do not prove that the episode never happened. They mean the responsible historian must identify it as a strong tradition rather than an established transcript of events. The name Molly Pitcher itself became popular during the 19th century. Molly was a familiar form of Mary or Margaret, and Molly Pitcher may have been a call directed toward women carrying water. The legend probably gathered details from several women near soldiers and artillery. Mary Hays should not be confused with Margaret Corbin, who was severely wounded while serving a cannon at Fort Washington in 1776 and later received a federal military pension. Corbin's documented experience contributed to the broader public image, but Mary's life and Pennsylvania recognition are separate. After the war, Mary, William, and their son returned to Carlisle. Tax records show William working as a barber. He died in 1786, leaving debts that forced Mary to sell household property. Before 1793, she married John McCullough, whose name appears under several spellings, including Macaulay and Macaulay. Whether he died or abandoned the family is uncertain, but he was no longer living with Mary by 1810. She supported herself through demanding labor, including nursing the sick and cleaning Carlisle's courthouse and other public buildings. The strongest official recognition of Mary's service came in 1822. Pennsylvania enacted an act for the relief of Molly Macaulay for her services during the Revolutionary War. The state paid her $40 immediately and granted an annual payment of $40 for life. The law did not explain the exact service being honored, and it did not simply award assistance because she was a soldier's widow. Its wording recognized services performed by Mary herself. That distinction is powerful evidence that people who knew her reputation believed she had contributed personally during the Revolution. Mary died in Carlisle on January 22, 1832. A local obituary remembered that she had shared the Revolution's hardships and had been an effective aid to the sick and wounded. Significantly, it did not mention firing a cannon. Her grave in Carlisle's old graveyard was modest until a tombstone was provided in 1876. Later generations added a flagstaff, cannon, and in 1916, the large statue that now presents her as the heroic Molly Pitcher. Mary Ludwig Hays matters because her life reveals both the indispensable work of women with the Continental Army and the way public memory turns service into legend. The pitcher, the artillery line, and the pension point toward a real woman who endured military campaigning and helped American soldiers. The unverified promotion and dramatic battlefield details show how later Americans shaped that woman into a symbol. Mary deserves remembrance with both admiration and honesty, not as a fictional mascot, but as a working woman whose courage carried her into the hardships of war and whose service Pennsylvania chose to honor.